Hello students, welcome to Relief Tutorials. I hope you all are doing good. In last lecture, if you remember, we talked about ecosystem, type of ecosystem, different components of ecosystem, then food chain, food web, trophic levels. We also discussed biomagnification and biodegradable and non-biodegradable pollutants. Yes, so today we'll be continuing with the second half of this chapter, our environment, chapter number 15 of grade 10. Okay, as you all know that we are an integral part of environment, or environment is quite important for all of us, for all the living organisms. Any change in environment will indirectly or directly affect us, and any activities from our side will affect the environment. Okay, so you all might be knowing that there are number of organisms in our ecosystem which are directly or indirectly connected with the environment. Yes, you know that India is a country which is producing billions of waste, billions of tons of waste, and from that waste only 60%, means around half of it is just collected, and from that 60% only 15% of waste is treated, right? Remaining waste is kept as it is. Okay, if you visit any tourist place or if you go to any place in city, okay, people would be randomly throwing garbage, wrappers, plastic bottles, and many more things on the road or at any random place, and because of that there will be waste on the earth, right? Now this is because of unawareness among people, or due to careless nature of a person, right? And due to that reason the waste on the planet earth is increasing day by day. Okay, now a few waste materials are of such type, as we discussed in our last lecture, that there are two type of waste material. One is biodegradable and second is non-biodegradable, right? So there are few materials which are non-biodegradable, which cannot degrade, so it keeps on accumulating at a place. Okay, there are different landfills where government is allotting space to throw the garbage, or they are accumulating, or they are collecting waste from different places, and in that landfills they are storing it. Okay, from that they will differentiate it, and if the things are degradable they will separate it, and non-biodegradable will be again separated. Okay, now you might be knowing that in northern Pacific Ocean, there are patches of garbages. People are quite careless and they are not aware about the damage that they are causing to the environment, and because of that thing the waste or the garbage is accumulated. You might be knowing in Delhi also. In Delhi the waste is extreme. Okay, there is a whole mountain like structure formed of waste, and in that landfill the garbage that I mentioned, the mountain like structure was formed of waste. Okay, such a huge amount of waste is collected in Delhi, and due to some reasons that mountain dropped down, it fallen, and number of people died because of that thing. So garbage, the amount of garbage and waste is increasing day by day. You might be knowing that a number of industries are producing waste, and they are releasing directly it into water bodies in ocean, sea, or river, lake, at random places. Okay, there are a number of plastics, bottles, metal bottles, and many more things, or containers, which are directly thrown in ocean, sea, or river. At tourist places also this thing happens, right? And because of that thing the life which is living in the water, like aquatic life, is interrupted, or it is disturbed very badly. Now if you know that in discoveries and history channels many times it is shown that how the aquatic life is affected. Okay, many a times the fish uh, are entangled in the nets, or straws and plastics or polythene bags will be eaten by, or it will be going in the mouth of any aquatic animals like turtle and many more. There was a article I read that there was a straw in turtles nostril, and it was surviving with that straw in the nostril for a very long period of time. So ultimately they are being affected, they are being disturbed very badly because of that waste materials and that garbage that we are throwing at random places. So there should be proper segregation of waste. Okay, now you know that as I mentioned that industrial waste, okay, industries are contributing too much. They are the one who are major source of environmental pollution. Chemicals and other waste polluting like air or water and land will be causing pollution. Even climate change, which is dangerous for Earth's biodiversity. Because of those pollutants, there is a huge change in the climate, and which will be quite dangerous for our Earth's biodiversity. Yes, now this industries, they release or they discharge biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. uh, they are generating it through different meals like cotton meals. Okay, if we talk about biodegradable, it will be released or discharged from cotton mills, food processing units, even paper mills, pharmaceuticals and textile factories. But these are biodegradable waste which will be degraded naturally or with help of few microbes. Okay, but on the other hand, when we talk about non-biodegradable waste that are released from different industries or from different places, they will not degrade. Those harmful materials will not be degraded. Okay, and they are generated by power plants, even steel plants or steel industries, metallic industries, fertilizer industries and many more. Okay, so these are the major sources. Industrial waste is the major source from where environmental pollution is occurring, right? And basically there are two types of waste: biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Okay, the one which can degrade will be known as biodegradable, like waste materials from plants, animals, vegetables and many more. And non-biodegradable like polythene or plastics, few metals and many more. Okay, biodegradable waste is animal or plant matter that breaks down naturally with exposure to microorganisms, heat and oxygen. Now when this biodegradable waste like animal waste, excreta, plant matter, vegetables, fruits, if it will come in contact with microorganisms or heat and oxygen, it will degrade. Okay, so it is not harmful to our earth or our environment, right? This biodegradable waste is generally formed by or generated by cotton mills, food processing units, paper mills and textile factories. Whereas non-biodegradable waste, the waste materials which cannot be broken into non-poisonous or harmless substances, it is known as non-biodegradable waste. For example, DDT. Now you all know that DDT was highly used by farmers, okay, to protect their crop from different insects and pests. Okay, but this DDT is non-biodegradable, so it will remain as it is, it will not degrade. So it can be passed along with the food chain. When a person will consume, or if an animal will consume those crops, then that DDT will be transferred in the food chain. It will go from one organism to another organism, and lastly it will reach to human beings or any other animals or any bird, the one which is consuming it. Okay, now for this reason DDT has been banned, because it was having a very bad effect on food chain. Okay, now non-biodegradable waste are the major pollutants of environment. For example, bags, then plastics, synthetic fibers, glass, metals, synthetic rubber, insecticides and pesticides, and those things cannot be degraded. So it is very harmful for our environment, right? Okay, so if question is asked, maybe in 2 mark or 5 mark question, if it is asked, you need to differentiate biodegradable and non-biodegradable pollutants. Okay, first you can mention the definition. Biodegradable, these are the pollutants which can be easily degraded by microorganisms. Then in non-biodegradable, these are the pollutants which cannot be degraded in harmless materials. Second point you can mention is, this can be used to produce energy. Biodegradable pollutants can be again used. Okay, it can be used to produce energy through biogas like compost and manure. Okay, those are used to increase the soil fertility and help the crop or our plant to grow nicely. Okay, but non-biodegradable pollutants are the one which are quite difficult to manage, as natural method of degradation is absent, so it is quite difficult to manage. Biodegradable pollutants, they are natural waste like animal or plant excreta, and these are non-natural waste, means plastics and polythene. This is very important, kids. Okay, so make sure you learn it nicely. Okay, next we have waste management. Now, as you all know that there are number of waste materials produced, and we can easily differentiate like wet waste or dry waste or organic waste or plastic or glass or metals, right? Organic waste, inorganic waste, right? So waste management is very important. You people might have noticed that since 4 to 5 years, okay, government is working on waste management too much, because there is a huge rise in waste and garbage. Okay, so they are differentiating it, they are collecting waste from each and every place. Okay, if you might have seen that there are different allocations of vehicles by government which will be coming in your society to collect the waste. Okay, or at any public place there would be different dustbins, okay, for wet waste and dry waste. So that would be quite useful to segregate the waste material. Okay, like see, segregation of waste for glass, trash bin would be there, for paper, for organic waste, and for plastic. So segregation of waste is quite important. Okay, next we have is ways to control pollution, how we can control our pollution. One is self-awareness. Okay, education will also help, because if I am educated or if I know the adverse effect of pollution, then I'll make sure that I'll try to decrease the amount of pollution which I'm doing. Okay, now there are 3 R's you might have learned in your lower grades: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, now reduce means I will try to deduct. As I mentioned, reducing the amount of waste you produce is the best way to help the environment. We will try our best to reduce the amount of waste that we are producing. Second is reuse. Okay, we say best out of waste. Okay, so reuse, instead of throwing things away or just discarding it, what we can do is we will make sure that we try to use it in different purposes. Okay, try to find ways to use them again and again. Okay, third we have is recycle. Okay, in one movie there was a dialogue, I remember, a cycle ko recycle karenge. I don't know the name of movie, but there was something like that. Okay, so recycle, okay, it is in trend these days. Okay, recycling things that have already been used, okay, things which we have already used, we can again recycle it and we can again reuse it, okay, to make new things for better purposes. So reduce, reuse, and recycle will be helpful to us in decreasing or controlling the pollution. Okay, now we'll see it in detail. Reduce, now how you can reduce the amount of waste or pollution that you are creating. Okay, first is not producing unnecessary waste in the first place, so there is a zero impact on the environment. We will unnecessarily not produce the waste materials. Okay, like instead of using plastic bag, we can use a bag which is made up of cloth. Okay, otherwise what will happen, every time we'll go outside, we'll use the bag, we'll throw it. Okay, but if it is of cloth, okay, we can reuse it, or we can use it for multi-purpose and again and again. Okay, and why reduction is needed? Because every product requires natural resources. Second is to avoid landfilling. Landfilling means collection of waste and garbage at a huge portion of land. Okay, so to avoid landfilling, we can reduce the amount of waste we are producing. Save energy. Okay, of course, if we reduce the amount of pollution we are creating, then we can save maximum amount of energy. And last is it costs your pocket. Okay, buying disposable things every time, instead of that, if we are using a plate, okay, a hard steel or metal plate, we can use it every time when we go outside. Okay, there are some tips, top tips for plastic waste reduction, but this is the basic thing which every individual can do. Okay, one is bring your own bag for life. Okay, as I told, you can avoid using plastic bags. Second is avoid excessive food packaging. Okay, every people have habit of packaging different things in different containers or different bags. So excessive food packaging, it's we can neglect it. Okay, we can avoid it. Third is pack your lunch in a reusable container instead of using a container or made up of plastic or paper that you'll be throwing again and again. Use a container which is reusable. Okay, so daily you can wash it and you can use it like a lunch box, right? Okay, straw, say no to plastic straws if possible. Okay, these days paper straws are also being produced, and number of industries or number of food companies or restaurants are using those paper straws. Okay, don't use disposable cutlery. I told that instead of using thermocol fork or plastic forks, you can use metal or stainless steel fork. Okay, carry a reusable bottle or cup instead of plastic bottles that we are using of Bisleri and all, then we throw it after drinking. Okay, but if you go outside, make sure that you take your bottle along with you, which you can reuse it again and again. Okay, use glass jars for storage. Okay, have a home cooked meal instead of consuming food from outside. You can use food of your own that is cooked at your home. Clear? Then we have reuse. Now reuse is defined as capable of being used again. Okay, like here you can see in a picture, bottles, plastic bottles and tins are used to grow a plant. Okay, the Starbucks coffee cups are used for different purpose like pen stand. Okay, you might be knowing that when we go to any of the theaters, we get popcorn tubs, right, which are quite attractive. Okay, so after eating it, you can take it at your home and you can use it for different purpose, like they have made pen stands. So similarly, even you can make and you can reuse the container. Okay, when wrapping presents, opt for reusable gift bags instead of wrapping paper. When you are giving gift to someone, okay, we usually use that wrapping paper. Okay, that is of plastic. Okay, instead of that you can use paper. Okay, that is not made up of plastic or which does not have such harmful uh, material in it. Okay, now when you are going for grocery shopping, use reusable cloth bags instead of plastics. When cleaning, use cloth to wipe things down instead of paper towels. Instead of paper towels, what you can do is use cloth. Okay, for cleaning your house, for cleaning furniture, for cleaning your study table. Okay, make sure you use a cloth. Okay, so again you can wash it and you can reuse it. So this will reduce the amount of waste or garbage or pollutants that we are producing. Okay, last is recycle. Okay, now collecting, separating and changing item into new things. Okay, you might be knowing that there are a number of people who are coming in our society to collect the scrap. Okay, and from that they will reuse and make something else. Why we should recycle? Because we need to save our planet. Okay, you know that for making paper, number of trees are being cut. Okay, so but if we recycle those papers or if we recycle those materials that are made up of wood, then the amount of deforestation will be reduced. Okay, save natural resources like trees and reduce pollution. Clear? So that is reduce, recycle and reuse. 3 R's. Clear? Fine. Now we have to study about ozone layer. Now because of this pollution, because of this waste material, because of the garbage and number of different chemical toxins. Okay, there are few chemical reactions which are taking place in our environment and it is damaging our planet. Okay, you all might have heard about ozone layer. Okay, ozone is a hole. Okay, it is formed in the atmosphere which is allowing UV radiation to pass in our earth. Okay, now ozone is a molecule which is made up of 3 atoms of oxygen. So O3, ozone means O3. Okay, Now O2, which we normally refer to as oxygen, you know that oxygen is one of the basic necessity of any living organism. Okay, we require oxygen to inhale. For doing any activity in our body, cell requires oxygen. Yes. Now it is essential for all aerobic forms of life because we respire it. Okay. Now all ozone is deadly poison. Now what happens? This oxygen, okay, oxygen molecules will be present in air. Okay, and now what will happen? Due to ultraviolet rays, this O2 molecule, this oxygen will be separated. Okay, it will be separated into single molecules of oxygen. Okay, O plus O. Now when this free molecule of oxygen joins with one more molecule of O2, then they will form ozone, that is O3. Okay, now this ozone layer is an area of gases. Okay, it is an area of gases that will protect the earth from the UV rays. Because of the ozone layer, our earth is protected from UV rays. You can see here sun, this is our earth, this is ozone layer. Now because of this ozone layer, this UV rays cannot pass in our earth, or it cannot fall on earth, it will directly be reflected. But here there is a hole. Okay, there is a depletion of ozone layer, so this UV rays will directly come inside and it will fall on earth. Okay, now why that is happening, that we will study in detail. Okay, the ozone layer is an area of gases that protects the earth from the harmful sun rays. Our ozone will protect the earth from harmful sun rays, it will reflect it outside. Okay, now ozone is just like a thick skin. Okay, like how orange and watermelon, they have thick skin surrounding to them, like same way our earth is having a thick layer of ozone surrounding it, which will protect it from ultraviolet rays. Okay, now because of this hole, in 1987 there was a Montreal Protocol. Okay, like in which different countries, all the countries throughout the world decided that we will decrease the use of few gases or few things which are producing those harmful gases, which will cause ozone depletion. Now you all might be knowing that CFC gas, that is chlorofluorocarbon, they are responsible for ozone depletion. So in 1987, the United Nations Environment Program, that is UNEP, succeeded in forming an agreement to freeze CFC production at level of 1986. So they decided that we will make sure that we will not use the equipment which are releasing CFC gas. Okay, now a hole in the ozone allows the rays through. This hole will be allowing the rays to pass in the earth. Okay, now you know where is ozone sea. This is earth, this is troposphere, that will be from 0 to 10 kilometer from earth's surface. Then we have ozone, and then we have stratosphere. Okay, now because of this ozone layer, the ultraviolet rays from sun cannot pass inside, it will directly be reflected from here. Okay, ozone is the layer in earth's atmosphere which contains relatively high concentration of ozone, that is O3. Although the concentration of ozone in the ozone layer is very small, okay, it is vitally important to life because it absorbs biological harmful ultraviolet radiations coming from the sun. This ozone layer is very useful, or it is very important for our earth because it will be absorbing, okay, or because it will be helping us, okay, to avoid those harmful ultraviolet radiations that are coming from sun. Okay, now this O3 is mainly found in stratosphere. You can see here, this is stratosphere. From 10 to 15 kilometer from earth's atmosphere we have stratosphere, and in stratosphere ozone layer is found. Clear? Now O3 both heats the stratosphere, it will also heat the stratosphere, ozone. By absorbing the UV radiation, it will absorb UV radiation. Okay, and in greenhouse gas, absorbing and emitting the infrared. Okay, so it is having a very major role. Clear? Now we have what depletes ozone, because of what ozone is getting depleted. Okay, now as I mentioned, like chlorofluorocarbons are the one which are used in air conditioning. Okay, these days the increase in number of air conditions because of high heat. Okay, people are using air conditions, we are using cooling units, then aerosol spray. In that also there are propellants of chlorofluorocarbons. In refrigerators also chlorofluorocarbons are released. Okay, prior to 1980s, and in the cleaning processes of delicate electronic equipments. Okay, for cleaning processes of different electronic equipments also chlorofluorocarbons were used. And due to this increase in amount of chlorofluorocarbons, it had an adverse effect on our ozone layer. Okay, CFC gas is released from different equipments from earth, and it is going in the atmosphere, and it will start depleting the ozone. It will start forming a hole in the ozone. Okay, this also occurs as the byproduct of some chemical processes. Now their presence in the atmosphere is due to human manufacturing. We know that we are the sole responsible for production of CFC gas, because we are using air conditioner, we have made it. Okay, refrigerator, aerosol sprays, and many more. Okay, so we are the one who are responsible for producing CFC gas and for creating hole in ozone layer. Okay, now recently chlorofluorocarbons were used a lot in industries and elsewhere to keep the things cold and to make foam and soaps. Even in formation of foams and soaps, CFCs are used. Okay, strong winds carry those CFC up to the atmosphere. From earth surface it will go up to the atmosphere, like that is stratosphere. Okay, where UV radiation breaks them apart, where the ultraviolet rays will break it. Okay, and it will release the chlorine atoms. Clear? Now this each chlorine atom can attack and break apart and destroy as many as 100,000 ozone molecules during the time it is in the stratosphere. When it is present in the stratosphere, what this chlorine material or atom will do? They will break our ozone. Okay, as many as 100,000 ozone molecules. Okay, during the time in the stratosphere, and because of that thing a hole will be formed. Okay, now what are the solutions? Okay, the solutions to the hole in the ozone, what we can do or how we can reduce the hole in the ozone layer. So here are some solutions with help of which we can decrease the ozone depletion. Okay, first is, there are many possible solutions to this problem. First, simplest thing that we can do is we need to avoid using CFC gas. Okay, or the equipments which are releasing CFC. Okay, uh, but in wholly relies on us, like humans. There are few solutions which will be helping us in decreasing the ozone in the atmosphere. First is, companies should be held responsible for the disaster they are causing in the environment. You might be knowing that these days government has created many rules. Okay, a company cannot release its pollutants directly without purifying it or without making it into simplest form. They cannot release it in air or water or soil. Okay, then we should use 3Rs, that is reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, initiatives, so that the next generation does not have to go through problems made by us. If we start doing this 3R, if we start taking initiative of 3Rs, okay, then our future generation might suffer from less problems. Okay, uses of CFC should be banned. Then limit the use of private vehicles. We can do carpooling. Okay, instead of using private vehicles, okay, in one single car 5 members can travel. Okay, we can go by cycles. Okay, we can travel places through walking if it is nearby. Okay, so by this we can avoid using private vehicles. We can use public vehicles like bus, train, or air travel. Yes, now use eco-friendly household cleaning products. Okay, instead of using different products that have harmful chemicals, we can use eco-friendly household cleaning products. Okay, Avoid use of fertilizers and pesticides. Instead of that, we can use different manures, okay, which will be quite helpful and it will not have an adverse effect on our environment. Banning the use of dangerous nitrous oxides. Change light bulbs to compact fluorescent light to minimize the energy consumption, which will slow down the global warming and reduce the depletion of ozone layer. So if we change our bulb with fluorescent light, it will minimize the energy consumption and it will ultimately help us. Okay, so these are some solutions to deplete the, to like decrease the amount of ozone depletion. Okay, I mentioned do's and don'ts. Okay, what you can do is save energy. Okay, reduce the usage of air conditions. Okay, because this air conditions, as you all know, that they will be releasing CFC gas. Okay, so decrease the amount of it. Then you can recycle the waste materials. Okay, afforestation, grow more and more trees. Fine. Fruits and vegetable compost. So for making our soil fertile, we can make organic matter compost. Okay, then we have proper disposable of old refrigerators. It should be disposed properly with help of few technicians or with help of few people who are quite aware about it. Okay, use public transport instead of private vehicles. Make sure that you use public transport like train or bus or carpooling. Fine. Reduce private transport. Here in don'ts, reduce foam packaging. Okay, reduce halon fire extinguishers. So these are the things that you don't need to do, and this will help you to reduce the amount of pollutants that we are producing. Clear? Fine. Effects on human. Now this ozone, okay, because of a hole in ozone layer, as you all know, that UV radiations, ultraviolet radiations from sun is directly penetrating in the earth's atmosphere, right? And due to that, human beings and different living organisms are suffering from different problems, okay, like skin cancer. Because of high ultraviolet rays, number of people are suffering from skin cancer. Okay, it can be basal or squamous cell carcinomas, okay, or malignant melanoma. Okay, eye damage, cataract problem will be found in many people because of ultraviolet rays. Okay, or snow blindness can be there. Immune system damage, the immune system of people who are coming in contact with ultraviolet rays regularly, okay, or at a high extent, then their immune system will be damaged. Accelerated aging of skin. Okay, you can see wrinkles on skin of number of people who are in contact with the UV rays. And other effects like ozone chemicals can cause difficulty in breathing, chest pain, throat irritation, and hamper lung functioning. So these are few adverse effects of ozone hole, okay, or of UV rays on human beings. Clear? Fine. So I hope you all are clear with the topic. Okay, waste and garbage, then biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, sources of waste, how we can segregate it or how we can manage the waste. Okay, ozone layer, what is ozone layer, why ozone depletion is taking place, how we can avoid it or how we can solve this problem, or what are the effects of ozone depletion on humans. Clear? Now we have quiz time. I have few questions over here and I want you all to answer in the comment section. Okay, which of these atmospheric layers is ozone layer a part of? Stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, or all of this? Whatever the answer is, make sure you write in comment section. Okay, second we have which of this is biodegradable, which one can degrade easily? Glass bottle, wood, plastic, or metals? What is ozone layer? Mention the relationship between ozone layer and chlorofluorocarbons. Suggest 2 methods to overcome the problem of ozone depletion. Okay, these are a few questions that will be useful to you in your exams. Okay, so make sure you note it down and write proper answers for it. we are done with entire chapter, that is our environment, chapter number 15. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can mention in the comment section, right? And these are your homework questions of part 1 and part 2. Okay, so make sure that you do your homework nicely and give your best in your exams. Hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you.